Hello and welcome to the short Vort on Parshas Seitze from Shlishi to Revii. In this week's Parsha we discussed the ban on the Ammon and the Moav from marrying into the Bnei Yisrael, and the reason for this is given in the Psukim in Perek Chav Gimel, Perek Pasuk Dalet and Hey, that says Al Devar Shelo Kidmu Eschem Belechem V'Mayim, when the Jews were exiting Egypt and they asked to be able to buy food from the Ammon and Moav. They did not come out to greet them and offer them the food, even though eventually the Moav did sell food to the Jews. And also, the second reason why they cannot join into Klal Yisrael is Asher Sachar Lecha as Bilaam ben Ba'ar, that they hired Bilaam ben Ba'ar to curse the Jews. So for these two reasons, they cannot enter into the Bnei Yisrael. So there's a whole variety of wonderful commentaries. I'll just focus on one or two of them. And firstly, we have the question is, why does the pasuk say that because they were socher, they hired Bilaam to curse the Jews? Well, it doesn't matter. They just told them, whether he did it for nothing, whether they paid him, what do we care about that? Also, why were they punished? We have a rule that if Divrei Harav, the Divrei Talmud, that if the master says something and the student says something, who are you going to listen to? You're responsible to listen to the master, which in this case is HaKadosh Baruch Hu, not to the Talmud, which would be someone else, the Ammon and the Moav. So why were they punished for this person who does an Avera, for Bilaam cursing the Jews? They should have been free from that. So Reb Shmuel Yavnin, I don't know who he is, but he's cited in the Sefer Talei Oros, gives an explanation based on the Gemara in Bava Kama that says that there are four things where you can be punished from Dinei Shemayim for having a shliach that is chayav on Dinei Shemayim, and one of them is hasocher eidei sheker laha'id, that one who hires an eid sheker, a false witness, to bear witness. So even though you divrei Rav divrei Talmud mishomim, in such a case the people who hire this witness, false witness, would be chayav also. So we do see that by Dinei Shemayim you can't have a shliach lidvar avera, and therefore it makes sense that the Ammon and Moav were punished for this. But the Tosfos says there, says that one thing to note is that when it comes to these Dinei Shemayim, that rule of becoming punishable for sending someone is only if you hire them. But if you just tell someone to do something, then you're not punished. Because you could just say, oh, I was going to say it, and why would he listen to me? He's going against halacha. But when you pay them, you kind of expect them to follow through on your wishes. So therefore it makes sense that the pasuk points out, Asher Sachar Alecha, that you hired them. And that's the reason why they were chayav for hiring Bilaam to curse the Jews, and therefore Lo Yavo B'Kal Hashem, they cannot come into Hashem's community. And we have another question. Why is it that the Egyptians, after 3 generations, can come into Klal Yisrael? After they made us serve for 200 years, they threw us into the Nile, they threw the boys, they killed them. So why would it be so? And just because they didn't give out food, that they would be punished? So, of course, they also caused the cursing of the Bnei Yisrael, and for that they'd be punished. But if we look at the Egyptians, we see the Egyptians, for all the bad things they did, they were not fully punished, that they were banned forever to come to the Jews. And the reason for that is given as the Egyptians, they did us a chesed. When we needed it, when there was a famine, they let us into their land. And for that meed of chesed, even though they did eventually do bad things, they were exempted from punishment. And that's why the pasuk has to mention both reasons about the both reasons for Ammon and Moav, that not only because they had hired someone to curse the Jews, and therefore they might have been exempted because they did something good, that would have been an opportunity as an out, just like the Egyptians had it. But we say no, they had an opportunity to do good, but they were lo kidmu eschem belechem v'mayim, since they didn't have the zechus. That's why they were punished. The main sin was the klala that they had brought on the Jews, but the fact, in order to be punished for it, they had to show that they were not having proper midos and not doing any good deed for the Jews. So as we're here in Elul, we should remember that even though we do sin, it goes a long way when we do chesed and do kindness to help protect us. But of course we should stay away from the sin too. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful Shabbos, and thank you for listening.